Aloha and welcome to Lillian's Vegan World, the show in Honolulu where we talk about the vegan lifestyle and plant-based diet. We're coming to you live from downtown Honolulu, another gorgeous day here. We are on our second recent lockdown, so we're all spending a lot of time indoors, and I'm very excited today to welcome my guest, and we're going to talk all about wine. Isn't this, Keely, the best time to be tasting all these gorgeous wines when we're not allowed to go out?
Oh, yes. I think the best part about the Scout and Cellar wine, Lillian, is that it gets delivered directly to your door.
I know,
So you don't have to go
Keely.
out.
I know. Keely, a huge aloha to you and welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is my guest today, Keely Luke Kim, who is the wine consultant for the Scout and Cellar wines that you just mentioned can be delivered directly to your door, even here in Hawaii, that are not only organic, but also happen to be vegan.
True. Can we get
Did
that
you
first slide up?
did you just see my eyes light up, Keely?
Yeah, I did. It's fantastic. So, the Scout and Cellar wines are clean crafted, which means that it has, it's all grown naturally and organic. There's no added synthetic pesticides, no added sugar, and no added chemicals, which is fantastic.
It
Healthier.
is. Well, a lot of people, Keely, actually still don't know and are still always surprised when I mention that not all wine is vegan. So I'm just going to, before we continue on and, go through and talk about your awesome wines, I do want to just talk to the viewers a little bit about what goes on and what makes wine not vegan friendly. And that is a clarifying process called a fining process. And during the fining, animal products are used to clean out the wine, basically. Things, kind of some bizarre fining agents are used. There's casein, which is a milk powder, a milk protein. Albumin, which is egg whites. This is a common one. Gelatin, which is a big, huge no-no if you're on a plant-based diet. Gelatin is really sourced from a lot of things from the animal. It can be their connective tissues, bone, skin, and it's used as a gelling or a binding agent in a lot of foods, especially sweets, but they also use it in the winemaking process. So something you really want to avoid when you're on a vegan diet. And there's another thing that's used often, which is fish bladder. So all these things mean that if they are used in that wine, obviously not going to be vegan friendly. So you do have to make sure, if you're on a strict plant-based diet, to check your wine, make sure where it's from. One of the ways, the easiest way you can do that is to check whether it's organic. Most organic wines do not use animal products. The other way, I think, Keely, is to download some apps that will, that you just put the wine name in. A lot of apps just cover thousands and thousands of wines. So that they're another good way. Barnivore is one that I sort of use a lot. And honestly, if I am not sure whether it's vegan or not, I just don't drink it. So good news is Keely, Scout and Cellar wines are vegan. Tell me more about them. There's so much more to know. And I did some taste testing of these wines yesterday. They were really stunning wines. I was very impressed.
Well, first of all, we have a sampler pack. It comes with like 4 mini bottles, which you had, right, Lillian? And they're fantastic if you want to, just to try the wines out. The one thing I love about Scout and Cellar that they source the wines from organic vineyards from all over the world, from Italy to Spain, Argentina, Chile, and of course our own, in the US, from the California coast up to Oregon, the Willamette Valley. And even from France, they have wines from France too.
Yes, so you're covering all the major wine producing countries,
right.
which is awesome.
Yeah. And the one thing I loved about Scout and Cellar was, for health reasons, I mean, I love wine. My husband and I, we love wine. And, because of the lower sugar, I have type 2 diabetes. So, I thought, wow, I'm going to try this wine, which has lower sugar and, better for you because it's organic and it has no added pesticides or chemicals in it. And the no added sugar was the big light bulb for me. And, I love it. And the one of the best parts about it is that because they have very low sulfites in it, that you don't get a headache the next morning.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I am convinced I could do a lot of taste testing of your wines.
So let
And
me
I'll definitely be ordering some.
Thank you. So let me tell you a little bit about the company. Scout and Cellar started from the owner. Her name is Sarah Shadanix, and she was an attorney. And every time she drank wine, she would get terrible headaches. And, she said she didn't want to quit drinking wine. So she found a way. She wanted to study and, research why you get headaches. And then she found that, because of the sulfites, the pesticides, and the added chemicals that added to getting headaches. So she quit her job and started Scout and Cellar. And
Wow.
I mean, we've tried it several times. We've drank quite a bit of wine, of the Scout and Cellar wine, and no headaches and none of that foggy feeling the next morning, which is fantastic.
I can imagine. I must test out this theory immediately.
Yes, I'll send you more wine.
No, I'm very happily and very happy and excited to get my hands on order some of these wines. Keely, how do we go about ordering the wines for
Okay,
people
well,
here in Hawaii?
there's a website, the www.scoutandcellar.com/Keely, and I think they'll put it up. There you go. And you can get on site, but there's different ways of doing this now. Shipping to Hawaii is always a big deal for people. And to me, the best deal and package that Scout and Cellar has is that if you join their wine club, which is called the Scout Circle, it's free shipping to Hawaii to your door.
That's
I live in an
amazing.
apartment, and the FedEx guy comes and he knows me already. He just knocks on the door and drops my box. And, he's like, "Hey, your wine's here, Keely," and he's like, "That's the best kind of delivery," but, yeah, so the Scout Cellar is great. I mean, Scout Circle, I mean, it's fantastic. So they come in different types of, packages, where the first package is $89 for 4 bottles of wine, a mix of 2 red and 2 white. And then you can also have 6 bottles, which is a mix, all red or all white, and then also a 12 bottle of a mix and red. And that's all the information's on the site also. Now, the coolest thing I think about Scout and Cellar, it's based in Texas. So when it's really hot, and it gets really hot in Texas, as I think it gets hotter than in Hawaii. But what they do is called Scout Safe Ship. And what happens is that they pack it in an insulated box to you with ice packs, and they ship it to you, which is kind of cool, right? Because,
yes.
they want to keep the integrity of the wine. And, I really like the values of this company, which is, they really believe in being honest, the transparency, the clean crafted wine, upholding that standard, which, I try to live that in my everyday life. So it kind of resonated with me. But
what a great way to put it. That's so true, isn't it? I tend to believe that I live a nice, clean cut kind of lifestyle as well. So this wine was completely up my alley. And after tasting the 4 wines yesterday, I'm not just saying this, Keely, they were fantastic. They were really sharp, which is something I kind of, to be honest, have missed. Like starting from the sparkling wine that I tried. When you are tasting wines, it's better to go from the lighter wines to the heavier ones. So you were gracious enough to let me try the tasting set, which was the sparkling wine, the Chardonnay, the Pinot Noir, and then the Zinfandel. Yes. Now the Zinfandel was my husband's favorite, and I haven't had a Zinfandel in a really long time. Definitely not one of those ones that I would go out and buy, just because I think the climate that we live in here in Hawaii, it's so hot, and that seems a bit heavy. But I tell you, I was impressed. That had some really nice body to it. It was a really satisfying drop.
Like, personally, for myself, I am not a big Chardonnay fan, but I've tried all of the Chardonnays from Scout and Cellar, and I love them. I haven't met a wine I didn't like yet from them.
Well, that's interesting you say that, Keely, because in in all honesty, I'm not a Chardonnay fan at all. And I think that has to do with just pairing it with food and stuff. Like
Right.
Chardonnays actually go really well with buttery food, lighter, a bit, lighter foods, but the buttery ones. So yesterday, to go with the Chardonnay, I made some sun-dried tomato and garlic cashew cheese rounds that I dried out and matured for a few days. That and your Chardonnay was incredible.
That's good
It
to
was really
hear.
it was really good. And I kept saying to my husband, I can't believe I'm enjoying this Chardonnay. I mean, I don't dislike Chardonnay, but it's not one of my favorites.
It's
And I just
favorites.
absolutely loved it. So after the break, Keely, I do want to talk about, pairing wines with food and just give the viewers some tips, basic tips. But
Okay,
I think
wonderful.
I think you'd have to agree that the food that you enjoy with the wines, really, it's as important as the wine itself. But
Absolutely.
start with the wine as the main as the main star of your tasting, not the food. Start with the wine, and then try and match the food to it. That's what I think, anyway. So, Keely, about the sparkling wine, the sparkling wine was amazing. I have to order that. It was beautiful. And here's something that a lot of people, I think, a misconception that a lot of people have, that champagne or sparkling wines go with sweet food and fruit, when in fact they don't.
I love champagne and pizza.
Well, it goes well with that because champagne goes well with salty foods.
Right.
Not,
I love champagne,
yeah.
but champagne and
Mhm.
pizza, it's people will be like, "What?" You know? It's like an uncommon pairing, but it's fantastic together.
It makes sense though. It does make sense. The saltiness in the pizza, and then of course the cheese. Champagne pretty much goes with most cheeses.
Right.
And the saltiness in the cheese obviously works well with the champagne. So that's one thing, like people bring out champagne and, strawberries or desserts. And I'm like, you're missing the point. Again, that's another misconception. So we'll talk about what foods pair better, just some tips on how to pair the
So,
wines to help people out.
Lillian Scout and Cellar has champagnes from France, so the real champagne.
Hmm.
They also have different types of sparkling, wine, sparkling
Hmm.
whites. A rosé sparkling white. I think it's called Tickle Bumps. It's really good. They have,
It's making me tickle already.
and they also have prosecco too.
Yum. Yeah,
And they have a
obviously
couple like
from Italy.
wine coolers, like light wine coolers in cans that you can take to the beach. Kind of nice.
Yes, well, they're proving to be very popular recently, aren't they? The
Yeah.
cans all over the world are selling out. Keely, we are going to take a short break and
Okay.
just allow for some commercials in between, and then we'll be back for more of Keely with Scout and Cellar Wines. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Lillian's Vegan World. I'm your host, Lillian Cumic. I'm a vegan chef and recently just had my first cookbook published, which will be coming out in November, called Hawaii, a Vegan Paradise. So stay tuned for that. Today, though, I'm here talking about gorgeous organic wines from the Scout and Cellar. which Keely is a wine consultant of here. Welcome back to the show, Keely.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Pleasure to have you on and talk about your beautiful wines. Tell us more, Keely, about, it's very, very interesting hearing about how the company was established, and definitely the owner is someone who loves wines, which is why her wines are as amazing as they are. I think it really shows how much she appreciaes them.
Right.
So tell us
it sounds a little cliche when I say, "Oh my God, the wines are so amazing," but after you taste them, you have to agree they are really fantastic wines.
Absolutely.
And I think for people in Hawaii, unfortunately, Scout and Cellar only ships to Hawaii, in the U.S. mainland, and they don't ship internationally right now. And there are, of course, some states that are dry that you can't ship wine to. And that's all on the website too, that they can go look in there. Like, there's like Alabama, Utah, Mississippi, and some of those states that you can't do it. But, one of the best things, like I said, the best value is that Scout Circle Wine Club. I'm going to reiterate that again because it's fantastic. And, there is no contract and there's no membership to join. Basically, you can choose what you want. You can choose your delivery service, which if you want it every month, every other month, or every quarter, you can do that, and you can cancel it at any time. So it's really customer friendly.
It is actually. I like that you can choose the frequency of how often you want it. You want the wines delivered. That gives people a little bit more leeway when they're thinking about becoming a member.
A funny story. I get people like, well, I really don't drink that much. And, I think 4 bottles will be more than enough for the month. I'm like, fantastic. Just go ahead and try it and see how you like it. And within like a week, they call me back and they're like, we drank it all. Like, it's really good. We drank it all.
Yeah, it would be hard not to. And I mean, unless you are completely opposed to alcohol, I think wine on a regular basis and, taking it easy is quite a good thing. Most people, when they see me drinking wine or alcohol, tend to get a bit surprised because they immediately think that vegans don't drink alcohol.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people do. And actually there are a lot of people on a vegan diet that don't drink alcohol, as there are a lot of people who are not vegans who don't drink alcohol. So, there are stereotypes, I think, when it comes to the vegan lifestyle. But definitely, again, if you are on a vegan, plant-based diet, you do want to make sure that the wine you are consuming is indeed vegan friendly. Let's have a look at the next photo, Keely. Tell us about this.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this just tells you a little bit more about Scout and Cellar wines, like, the clean crafted, the no preservatives, no added chemicals, the no added sugar, and, like hand-picked vines and the little sulfates. And, they make sure and they test it in the lab to make sure that it's vegan, which I think is fantastic. It goes the extra mile to give, I think, vegans the reassurance that, it is a true vegan wine.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, I'm sold. You need not say any more. And I have tasted them, so I can vouch that they are indeed delicious.
So, could we get those gift set slides coming up? I think it's number 4 and number 5. Okay. Scout and Cellar has a great promo going on right now for the holidays. And it's gift sets for wine if you want to send it to people. They have anything from 1 bottle, which ranges from $39 to $79. And they have, next slide, 2 bottle sets that range from, I think it was $59 to $69. And they have a really cute one with 12 little of those sampler bottles, this size right here. And it's, this is the Scout sampler, but they have one for the holidays. It's 12, and it's kind of like an advent calendar. So every day, 12 days before Christmas, you stick your hand in and it comes out like with a little saying or a treat or something, but it's the wine. It's kind of cute, right?
How cute.
I mean, I wish somebody would send it to me.
Yes.
Yeah. But the great part of it is it's great for corporate gifting. And if you are a business and you have clients that you want to send it to, you just make a list with the sentiment you want on it and the addresses, and the company sends it out for you, which is fantastic, right? Takes the hassle of it. And I think, because of the pandemic and our lockdowns and the state of the world and our country as it is right now, I think, all the holidays are going to be a lot different this year. And I think that's a wonderful way to be able to express your gratitude or, your love for somebody by sending them a gift set. And it's so easy.
I know, that's amazing. To all my friends and family who may be watching this show, go to Scout and Cellar, and you now know what you can get me for the holidays. Done. Like, you don't even have to think about it, and I will be very, very, very grateful.
Easy. It's easy. That's wonderful.
But
Yeah.
I love that little 12 bottle. Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's cute, right? It's $119. Pretty good.
But for 12.
Yeah, and free shipping.
That's a good,
yeah.
And free shipping, yeah.
And free shipping, which is fantastic.
The free shipping is a big one. That's
free shipping is a big one. So, if you do end up really liking a wine and you do want to order it individually, Scout and Cellar offers a bottle discount. So if you order 6 bottles of wine, it could be any bottles mix. I think it's, what is it? 5% off for the 6 bottles. And if you order more than 12, it's 10% off. But then you still have to pay shipping to Hawaii. And people in the mainland, the shipping is not that bad. It's still really affordable because it's shipping out from Texas. So, and even with the Scout sampler, with the 4 bottle one, I think that's slide, what is it? Number 3. Thank you. This Scout sampler, it's fantastic, but you do have to pay shipping on it. And if, anybody that are Lillian's friends or, everybody, you can message me or anything. I usually sometimes, to save on the shipping, I combine the orders and bulk ship it into Hawaii and just charge everybody, a minimal shipping, which is affordable. I think, we have to resort to doing things like that because, I don't want them to pay shipping that's more than what the wine costs.
Yes, right? which can in fact be the case. So,
right.
Keely's definitely here to make sure that wine gets to you and gets to you at a reasonable price. So go check it out. Keely, let's talk about wine pairing with food, because as a chef, this is something that obviously I do think about when I'm especially preparing my 7-course meals. Most of the people that come to my 7-course dinners are alcoholics. I mean, avid wine drinkers.
Oh, avid wine drinkers, yes.
Wine tasters, professional wine tasters. No, I'm kidding. So we do end up, pairing. I do end up pairing a lot of the food with wine. So here are a few things that we should consider when pairing wine with food. To begin with, the weight of the wine should match the weight of the food. So anything robust and full body, like a Cab Sav or a Pinot Noir, think about heavier or sort of more umami rich foods like mushrooms, or even Japanese food actually goes well with full-bodied wine. A lot of people avoid Japanese food with wine because of the soy sauce. Soy sauce can, not interact well sometimes with red wines, but go for bolds, and Japanese or Asian food will actually work. So we did establish that champagne or sparkling wine doesn't really go with sweet food, contrary to what people believe. Champagne and sparkling wine goes with salty food. So if you're looking to pair desserts with wine, I would recommend like a late harvest Riesling or a Moscato, something like that. Even the German Rieslings tend to be on the sweeter side. So one of the tips a lot of wine connoisseurs give is when pairing wine with dessert, make sure that the wine is actually sweeter than the dessert itself. Isn't that interesting? And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't think about that. People think, oh, sweet food, so I need to pair it with something dry. And it actually does not work at all. So that's a good tip. The other thing to think about is, which is kind of a no-brainer, but match the region of the cuisine with the region of the wine. So, Italian food tends to taste better with Italian wines. And what I'm finding, definitely, because I'm eating more American food, mac and cheese has become a thing in our home. Now that I'm married to an American, I am finding that I am enjoying a lot of the more American wines with American food. So that's another one. Yeah, that's it. So think about the weight of the wine. Think about matching similar flavor profiles. A nice, like, spicy dish will go with a nice Shiraz that has some spicy notes in it. So stuff like that to think about next time. Don't just guzzle away unless you absolutely have to.
In fact, a lot of these wines, I've been pairing them with like local food. My family, we're not vegan. I like to eat vegan and vegetarian when I can, but we eat meat, and I make local food like pork tofu, or any type of local Asian food, and the wines pair really well with them. And you could definitely omit the meat in it too, and just with the tofu and the vegetables and all that, and it's fantastic.
I know, Keely. It just so happens that my first cookbook, Hawaii, a Vegan Paradise, is in fact all Hawaiian local favorites that I've veganized.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can't wait for
So
your cookbook to come out. I purchased a couple.
I know, thank you. So
Of
they'll be out in the
course.
beginning of November. And you can get all of the information about what I do and what I'm getting up to here on any of my Lillian Vegan social media. I'm on Instagram, Lillian Vegan _ Chef Hawaii. Facebook, YouTube, and my webpage are all Lillian Vegan. So you can find more information there about me. Obviously here every second week on Lillian's Vegan World. But Keely, it's been awesome having you on. Before we say au revoir to everyone, please give us a little message, or give the viewers a message.
Okay, guys, if you order any type of wine from my website, Lillian is the host, and she will get a special surprise being the host, which is free wine. So order up so Lillian can get her free prize. And, I know you folks will really, really enjoy the Scout and Cellar wine. And if you have any questions, feel free to, contact myself or Lillian, and she can give you my information. And I would be more than happy to help you out with some of the suggestions, or, help you with ordering the wine.
Absolutely. Do consider ordering some of these gorgeous wines. Keely, it has been wonderful having you on. Thank you for all your insight. Good luck with everything. Do stay safe in these challenging times. And see you all next time on Lillian's Vegan World. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. Aloha.